It is another new release Wednesday, and we've got a good one today. I mean, they're all good, right? But this one happens to be Contenders Draft Picks Football, just in time for the first round of our draft, of course, which is tomorrow night. We are opening the full case of Contenders Draft Picks that came out today, but we're also going to open before that a little 3-box case, inner case of autographed baseballs from Onyx, preferred players. I'm going to change that. I'm going to raise that up just a hair and see. I don't know. Lighting looks weird tonight a little bit, doesn't it? I don't know. I think it'll be okay. Before we get started, we do have a little bit of information to go over, so let's get rolling with that first. Feedback. Automated 100%. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you will instantly get the same in return. And of course, far more important than that is to say thank you. I appreciate you being here. Always appreciate those who bid and break with me, as well as those of you who often come and hang out and chat with me, keep me company, and all that sort of thing. Looking now at breaks that are listed on eBay that we're going to be breaking over the course of the next 5 days. Tomorrow night, draft night, woohoo, we're going to open a half case of Leaf Metal Draft Jumbo Football. So that has 10 autographs per box. 9 of them are the regular kind. 1 of them is guaranteed to be a 1-of-1 slabbed autograph. So a total of 10 per box, 40 in that half case break. We will also break a 12-box case of Diamond Kings baseball all tomorrow night. Friday night, we'll start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific once again, and that's because we've got another new release hitting that night, and it's National Treasures basketball. We will open a full case of that as well as a second case of Contenders Draft Picks football, all on Friday night. Saturday, we will open a 5-box case of TriStar Game Day Greats autographed football jerseys. Yeah, that's right. We're going to bust a full case of memorabilia. Oh, how about that? As well as a half case of Gypsy Queen baseball. That particular half case is the back half of a case for those of you who keep track of that sort of thing. Sunday night, we'll start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. We'll open a 20-box case of Honors football. That's the last case I have of Honors. And then we'll open a half case of Bowman baseball. That is also the back half of a case. On Monday, we're going to open Hit Parade Triple Play Baseball Box. First time we've opened one of those this year. We opened a lot of them in 2018. It's got 3 autographed memorabilia items in it, a baseball jersey, an actual baseball, and a photograph. Behind that, we'll open another 5-box case of TriStar Game Day Greats autographed football jerseys and another full case of National Treasures basketball. So that's what we're looking like in the days ahead for tonight. Lots of information on here. Let's try to boil it down. So our Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs are going to break first. They are a free shipping break. Free shipping stuff is generally projected to go out no later than a week after the auction ends. In this particular case, I just said Tuesday. I forgot to change it to say Wednesday. But anyway, most of the time they go out well ahead of schedule anyway, but won't go any later than that. Our paid shipping break tonight is Draft Picks, Contenders Draft Picks. I'm going to try to get that out by Saturday. As always, if I can get it out to you faster than that, I will. If something goes wrong with my week, it could possibly slide to Monday, but I'm going to try my best to get it to you on or before Saturday. Last little bit of information has to do with consolation cards. So if you're in one of these breaks tonight, and your team is not pulled and you don't get anything at all, not a base card or anything, you are entitled to a consolation card. It can be from any year in any series, and I keep track of it for a rolling 90-day period. If you're in the free shipping break, which is the autographed baseballs, generally I would hang on to the consolation card and include it the next time you have a package that is shipping. That's simply because it is a free shipping break. But if you don't want to wait for that and you want it sooner, simply let me know and I can get that consolation card on the way to you faster. On the other hand, if you were to get skunked in Contenders Draft Picks, your consolation card would ship out with the rest of the break because it is a paid shipping break. So first up, 3-box center case 2019 Onyx Preferred Players Autograph Baseball. This is break number 16 of these, and it ended, everything we're opening tonight ended tonight on eBay, and I see that I somehow managed to write the 24th correctly on one and the 19th on the other one. So, like, okay. See, that's why I write it on both lines, right? If I make a mistake, usually I would catch it on one of the other places. Anyway, ended tonight on eBay, the 24th, breaking tonight as well. 2 teams were not sold. They are listed as no bids buyback. That's the Reds and the Diamondbacks. If anything were to come out for one of them, it would simply stay here with me since it's unsold. And we have a few teams in here that have no hits in the product, and they were not listed for sale as a result. You see that noted on the spreadsheet as well. Finally, you're going to notice that your background gets a little out of focus here, but please don't worry. We're going to be able to see what we need to see just fine. CIA Chef is here looking for a little Mookie Betts baseball, huh? All right, we're trying to get some Mookie Mojo. It's our last case of this, by the way, too, guys. So, of course, we hit that Fernando Tatis out of the last case or case before last. But we've hit some really nice stuff along the way out of Onyx Preferred Players this year. But sadly, this is the last of it. Matt's here looking for a Yankees baseball. And Nelson, hi Nelson. And in contenders, Nelson, that is going to be right after this break. So, and of course, contenders draft picks, all the cards will ship as normal. Anytime something doesn't have all cards shipping, it will always note that, of course, in the description. And Echo's here looking for the Mets. Hi, Echo. I always like to look and try to guess who it is before we look on the paperwork, which will actually tell us. I always like to look and guess. I don't know. It's more fun that way, sort of. Well, it is for me anyway. Might not be for you guys. You guys are like, just tell us who it is. First, let's find it. Yeah, I am not sure who that is, actually. But it is JSA authenticated and Onyx authenticated. So we've got a little dual signature action going on. There is your JSA certificate to match the sticker. It is bent a little, but that's normal coming out of these boxes. An Onyx authentication card to match its sticker. And the answer is Aaron Nola. Oh, I should have recognized that. That's your ace from the Phillies with Aaron Nola. Sweet little hit right there. I don't know. That's probably what, $60 maybe if you resell that? Maybe more. I don't know. Something like that. And look at that. Chris guessed it too. He's like, yeah. Oh, Nelson, you don't want to have all the cards ship out of Contenders Draft? Well, I can. If you don't want your base, that's no problem, Nelson. You'll just have to send me a message and let me know specifically what you want shipped and what you don't want shipped, and then I will have to print it out and put it with the cards to remind me to do it that way. Otherwise, I kind of autopilot that stuff. Yeah, I got no idea on that one either. And it is also Onyx authenticated, not JSA on that one, just Onyx. Card to match your sticker. And the winner is Mike, I never say it right, Zunio. That's not how you say it. I know that's not how you say it, but I can't ever, I don't know, I can't say his name. He's one of many whose name I have a little bit trouble with. I guess that's putting it mildly, isn't it? To say that I have a little bit of trouble with some of these names. Let's see where he is on our checklist here. He is on there as Tampa Bay Rays. So that's the Rays. Got the Phillies out. We've got the Rays out. Let's see where number 3 goes. All right. The number 3 is another one that I don't know. So, yeah. And it is Onyx authenticated as well. There's our Onyx sticker that goes with it. And this is Michael Brantley. Let me double check here for Michael Brantley. Let's find him on here. Hang on. Where are you, Michael Brantley? Why can't I find you on this list? Why? Where is he on this list, for real? I'm looking on the checklist. Hang on. Astros. There we go. I should have known that. I don't know why I didn't remember that. But anyway, I didn't. So, once again, we have our hits for Aaron Nola and the Phillies. Quite nice little hit right there. So, the Phillies went with the first one that we saw tonight. I'm going to label these up as we go on the top. Next up is the guy whose name I'm going to butcher, Zunio, is the Tampa Bay Rays on the Onyx checklist. So that is headed to Tampa Bay. And last but not least, ooh, strings. This, who did I say this was? Michael Brantley, I remember now, for the Astros. And there's your Onyx authentication. Oh, gosh, your Onyx authentication sticker on it. Thank goodness it's a baseball. So, yeah, landing on our little sorting mat there didn't do it any harm. And that is Astros. Let me get these set out of the way, and then we're going to be ready to truck right into Contenders draft picks as soon as I get this out of the way. Okay, so Matt, you said the ball looks like it's bleeding a little bit. Which one are you talking about? Which one of them? You mean like a signature didn't look good on it? I didn't honestly pay that close of attention to the signatures in particular, but I definitely will take your word for it if the ink maybe wasn't, you say the ink didn't maybe look great on one of those. No, Echo, I don't have any more Onyx left. That's the last of it. All that I have. I doubt I'll bring any more in because I have some other, I have some TriStar autographed baseballs that need to be broken. Both some cases I think from last year. There's some cases from this year, and I need to get that stuff broken. Probably won't bring in any more Onyx, at least not for the foreseeable future until I get all that out of the way. And I got all that out. I meant to do our spreadsheet information first, but we haven't cut into any of our boxes yet, so I guess we're cool to go ahead and switch over here since I got out of order, didn't I? So for those of you who didn't see it earlier, anticipating no later than Tuesday for the autographed baseballs to go out. Might go out sooner, often do, but won't be any later than that. If you got skunked in the autographed baseball break, your consolation card will typically be held and shipped with your next package. If you want it sooner, hit me up and let me know and I will handle it. Contenders draft picks, which is coming up, anticipating out the door on Saturday. As always, if something goes well, might go faster. A week goes poorly, could go a day later, which would mean Monday. And if you get skunked in this break, your consolation cards would ship with the rest of the break. So this is a 12-box case of 2019 Contenders draft picks. It's break number 1. Of course, it also ended tonight on eBay the 24th. We're breaking it tonight the 24th, despite the fact that I somehow typed the 19th on the other line. And this, of course, was sold by first letter of last name. And some of these guys have hyphenated names, okay? And it's going to go to the first letter of the hyphenated name. So Yasin is going to go to the Y. Arcega Whiteside is going to go to the A, etc. There's 3 or 4 guys in the draft this year, or that potentially will be in the draft this year, who have hyphenated last names. So just trying to kind of get all that squared away so everybody knows what's what before we get rolling here. Echo, we are going to do some signed baseball bats. You know, I've done those in the past, usually from Hit Parade. But Leaf is coming out for the first time this year with autographed baseball bats. It's going to be a new line of memorabilia product from Leaf. And they typically have really good checklists with their memorabilia. And their products are usually very well done. So I do have some of the Leaf autographed baseball bats already on order. So when those come out, we'll break those for sure. We're looking for 6 autographs per box in here. So it's a nice hit-heavy kind of product. And there's all kinds of other stuff in here, too, as you know. We'll have veteran players in here, and we'll have our draft choices in here as well. But everybody's in their collegiate uniform. So that's the primary reason that we are breaking it as first letter of last name. Of course, the other reason is we haven't had the draft yet, so we don't know what team all these guys end up with quite yet. Now, all the stuff that is base, we're going to go through it at a pretty good little clip because there's not much reason to dwell on it. Hakeem Butler is our first autograph out, and that, of course, is going to go to bid position B. B for Butler. And there's, I guess we could look at our inserts. This is the first box. So the Legacy insert, and who do we have? What is this? A draft class insert. This is College Connections. College Connections, they have 2 different last names on there. So we'll set it up there off to the side. The other one that we looked at were both Mannings. So they both would go to M. So we don't have to worry about anything going on with that. Second hit out of box number 1 is Antoine Wesley for the W's out of Texas Tech. So I would say that the majority of these connections we'll just set aside up here because I think the vast majority are going to have 2 different players or, 2 different last names on them. So we'll kind of set all that stuff up there and we'll get it sorted at the end of the break and find a home for those cards. Zach Gentry, that is for bid position G. There's another dual. I guess we're going to find a fair amount of those duals, it would seem, as we go along through here. Another autograph hit, Easton Stick for the S. So this is everybody's last chance to be like the great prognosticator and be able to tell us how the draft is going to shake out tomorrow. Who are our top 3 draft picks in order? What do you all think? You think Kyler's really going to go number 1? You think that they're going to trade that pick away in Arizona, or maybe go with a lineman? I don't know. Trayvon Mullen for the M's. Maybe. But this is our last chance to look like we know what we're talking about in advance of the draft, right? It's like bragging rights. If we get it right, we're like, yeah, we totally called that. That's what makes it fun. We have Jordan Brailford, and that one happens to be low numbered as well. It's numbered to 18. It's a playoff ticket, and of course going to the B's, bid position B. It would be helpful if they would have put those 2 back-to-back, wouldn't it? Those dual player cards. It'd be nice if they were together, but there's like 1 card separating them every time. So, of course, after we do the draft, we'll switch to we'll switch away from doing things by first letter of the last name, and we'll switch into doing things as team breaks for the most part. I don't know. We might do one more break of this. Well, we've already got one more scheduled where it's done by last name, but I mean next week when we've crossed over the threshold. We'll probably switch them to team breaks at that point. And I think maybe score football is on the horizon. We might have that a week from today, possibly. I'd have to double check that. Drew Sample for the S. But I do think we're coming upon score release time. Johnny Dixon for the D. They kind of moved it back a little bit this year, score, I mean. It's usually right before the draft, and this year they're going to do it right after, which I think makes more sense anyway. Daniel Jones. That is, of course, the J, and you got a nice little bowl ticket there, numbered to 25. And, you know, there is kind of mixed opinions on this kid as to where he's going to be drafted. But I do think that he's a possible kind of mid to late first rounder, possibly. Just really depends on how everything in front of him flows, I guess, as is always the case on draft day. Anthony Ratliff Williams. This is an example of one of the hyphenated names I was talking about earlier. So, of course, that's going to go to the R, because that is the first letter of that hyphenated last name. I know occasionally someone will try to make the case that the last name is W for Williams, but no. That's why I always say first letter of the last name, to avoid all that kind of controversy, right? Andy Isabella for the I. My man Big Ben Roethlisberger got an extension today. So he's going to spend, presumably, a couple more years with the Steelers. But you never know. I mean, obviously, we've all seen it before. That can change on a dime. They can get rid of him. He can get rid of them. He could retire. There's lots of things that could happen. But at any rate, by the way the extension was signed, it would seem as though he's planning to be there for a couple more years. Juan Thornhill for the T's. Kind of the cool thing about this is, since the draft's tomorrow night, like you can watch the draft and figure out where your cards are headed, you know, how they're going to match up. I just hope Josh Allen, my guy from the UK, I hope Josh goes in the top 3. I saw a mock draft yesterday. I can't remember who had done it, but had him dropping all the way down to 5th, which I would be really, I mean, I hope he doesn't go 5th. I hope he goes 2nd or 3rd, but he may. I don't know. They did have him going 2nd and 3rd, kind of in that slotted area. But now I saw that one yesterday that said 5th. Julian Love for the L. More of our 2-player cards. Yeah, I don't really even know why I shipped the base on this, other than you guys usually just want it, but it's mostly just duplicates of the same people over and over, you know. Caleb Wilson, that goes to the W. It's the same thing with regular contenders, though, and a lot of breakers actually don't ship the base even for regular contenders, but I always do. Bryce Love, I think that could be useful. That is for the L. Mostly I'm just happy that I think we may have as many as 4 or 5 Wildcats drafted by the time the thing's over. Obviously not first round or whatever, but by the time it's all said and done. Darius Slayton, that is for the S. So, you know, nothing like having a lot of kids drafted to help raise the profile of the football program a little bit. Let people know we're trying to turn it around here in Kentucky, not just a basketball school, we hope. Amani Oruwari. Quite sure that's butchered, but equally sure that it at least starts with the letter O, so we do know where it goes. Goes to the O, no matter how horribly I mispronounced it, which I suspect was quite bad. Quite badly, I should say. Miles Gaskin for the G. Whoops, that's another dual. All right, I cut the plastic on these already? Yes. So Nelson, if you don't want, do you not want any of your base for this? Really and truly you don't? Do you want the inserts, like the ones that say game day and that sort of thing, or you only want autographs and you don't want anything that's not an autograph? All right, you don't want any base, but like I'm saying, do you want, for instance, like these cards that I would call an insert? Game day ticket, more of an insert than a base. Do you want those or no? You just want strictly autographs and numbered cards. All right, the only thing you want are if the inserts are numbered. Okay, so you literally want only numbered cards and autographs. All right. I will try to remember to write that down after we finish the break and put a note with the box to remind me. Otherwise, you know, I get on autopilot and I'll just ship it all out anyway if I don't write myself a note and attach it to the, you know, to this sorting group. Drew Sample for the S. But I don't blame you. It is a lot of cards that you just then have to find something to do with. So I feel your pain on that one, man. Definitely do. Johnny Dixon for the D. I wish they had a little, there was a, for the NBA, there was a little game you could play. I don't remember who ran it, but you could go in and guess the order, like exactly where you thought somebody was going to be drafted. And then you could win some prizes for things. I think it'd be so much fun if they would also do that for the NFL draft. I'd love to go in and put some picks in, like, here's where I think so-and-so is going to be drafted. And I'm sure I'd probably be like 10% right, if that, but it'd still be fun. Emmanuel Hall for the H. Jonathan Abraham, or Abram rather, not Abraham, just Abram for the A. We have a numbered foil DJ Moore, as a matter of fact, to 99. So he was a rookie in this past year's rookie class, of course, but as I mentioned, they do have a little bit of everything in here, not just our potential draftees. Dylan Mitchell for the M. Actually, last year, we hit out of Contenders draft picks a ton of Saquon Barkley. And some of the guys who ended up being really highly coveted later in the season, I mean, we just hit loads of them in Contenders draft. It was really pretty easy to hit them at that point. So, and some of those have some quite nice value. So I'm hoping that some of these that we pull tonight are going to increase in value over the next few days for you guys. Like, for instance, how about Kyler Murray cracked ice to 23? Oh, yeah. How you feel about that, Em? Not just Kyler, baby, but Kyler Murray cracked ice to 23. Sweet, sweet, sweet. And we're early in the break yet. So now you can just sit back and relax if you have the M, because you hit it and you still got plenty of boxes left to find other stuff. But now you can have a big sigh of relief. There's your Kyler, and a very good one at that. Yeah, this is always the interesting time of year for breakers because, you know, the draft, there's a lot of guys drafted over all those rounds, you know, and it's a lot of those different guys are in products too. So I have to try to learn that new draft class pretty quickly in order to sort things. It's just like my crunch time. I feel like it's finals week when it comes time for the draft. It's like you gotta watch it, learn it, memorize it. Josh Oliver for the O's. And then spend a whole lot of time sorting it. Stanley Morgan Jr. for the M's. Because, you know, there's this product. There's Score that will have our veterans, our current players, Hall of Famers, veterans will be in their correct NFL uniforms. But if they do it the way they've done it in years past, and I assume they're going to, our current draft picks, our 2019 draft picks, won't be in NFL uniforms and Score. So it'll be another one, you know, where I'll have to try to remember some stuff. Amani or Awari, same one I gave a shot to before. Still pronounced it wrong, I'm sure, but is still an O. We got a Mojo, Rodney Anderson, and it is numbered to 10. Hopefully you can you see that numbering? It's kind of lost up there in that pattern, but it's in that lower corner there. For the A's, Rodney Anderson Mojo to 10. And we have, this looks like it's going to be another A. Oh, nope, sorry, read that wrong. What am I thinking? I'm blind. I thought that X was an A. O'Shane, I'm going to say Zimenes. Now, maybe that's not how it's pronounced, but that's what I'm going with. And, of course, it goes to the XYZ bidding category. Yeah, I took a look at secondary market prices for this stuff earlier today. It's already had a hefty little price increase, so it looks like they didn't make a lot of it again this year. David Montgomery, that is numbered to 25 for the M. Actually, before mine even shipped, I had one of my distributors ask me if I'd be willing to give some of mine up. I was like, no, why would I do that? Like, I ordered it. Why would I not want it if I ordered it, right? But he's like, oh, I've got, a bunch of people that want it. I just thought you might not want all yours. I said, no, not very likely. Bring it on. We want it. Karen Higdon, that is to the H, and it is numbered to 99 with a bowl ticket. Kind of stacked that in the wrong spot, didn't I? All right. This is box number 6 of the 12 we're going to be opening tonight. Well, one thing I do love about this, Panini's very efficient in the way that they do it. They don't give us 5,000 packs we have to open with 5 cards in every pack. They give us 6 packs with nice bunch of cards in each one, and it cuts down so much on time because we don't have to open all those individual packs. Antoine Wesley for the W. Will Greer for the G. Will is numbered to 18 with a playoff ticket. Trace McSorley, he's actually a pretty tough customer. And I mean, like, tough as in will stay on the field practically with a broken bone kind of tough. Like, that kind of tough. Trace McSorley is a bowl ticket numbered to 99. Of course, played for Penn State. Keenan Brown for the B. I'll be interested to see if Kyler does get drafted high, which I mean, I think that he will. I don't know if he'll go number 1 overall, but he might. But even if he doesn't, he'll be highly drafted. And if he's successful at his height, and when you already have Russell Wilson and Drew Brees, who are kind of on the shorter side, Darren Hall, that is for the H. It is numbered to 10. Got the little mojo pattern there in the background. And if he ends up being successful at the NFL level, that's really going to reset people's thought process as to how tall you have to be a quarterback in the NFL. Jerry Tillery, that is for the T. All right, we have 6 down, 6 to go. Oh, man. I just remembered what else I meant to list tonight. I meant to list Flawless, to have us break Flawless on Monday night, and dang it, I forgot to list it. Knew there was something I meant to do. That was it. So I guess we'll be breaking Flawless Football on Tuesday of next week instead. Nelson needs a Bosa. All right. We'll see what we can find for you. This looks like we might have a dual signature headed our way on a connections card. University of Buffalo, and it is Anthony Johnson and Tyree Jackson. And how lucky are we? Oh, yeah. They both have last names starting with J, right? No need for random. Going straight to the J's, just the way I like it. Clayton Thorson for the T. Yeah, I always hate taking a card away from somebody when you have to do one in random, you know, and not, obviously somebody's going to win it, somebody's going to lose it. Oh, I always feel bad for the person who doesn't get it. So when it works out that they can just go to one place and not disappoint anybody, I always like that. Tony Pollard, P. Oh, those were my, whoops, my dual guys in that pile. For the A's, Bruce Anderson. And that is numbered to 18 with a playoff ticket. Alex Madison for the M's. Wonder how hard it was to get all this stuff signed. You know, because they haven't done any rookie premiere days or anything yet, because nobody's been drafted yet. So, wonder how hard it was to track all these guys down. Or maybe they just mailed them to them, right? Just said, here you go. Send them back. Byron Murphy for the M bidding position. And we have ourselves a bowl ticket to 99 for Bradley Chubb. Going to the C. I almost started to say go into the go into the team, but no, we're not doing teams. We're doing last names only. You guys are all very quiet tonight. It's kind of that midweek letdown, isn't it? Yeah. Understandable. Jalen Hurd for the H. Travis Homer for the H. Whoops, sorry. We got one had slid in behind there. Terry Godwin II for the G. And we've got a big stack of those over there. They have 2 different players on the card. They weren't messing around with those this year. We've got a lot of them. Preston Williams, W. I don't get, like, why he... Doesn't it... I mean, it looks like he's signing P, and a little smiley face, and a P. So, like, where's the W for Williams? If that in the middle is supposed to be the W, then why would you have a P on either side of it? Like, I don't know. I don't get his signature, really. And it looks like it would take a really long time to sign it that way. Not for nothing. Jeffrey Simmons. And that is numbered to 99, a bold ticket. Ooh, a printing plate. A little 1-of-1 printing plate. Let's see who this might be. It is Christian McCaffrey for the M's. With a nice 1-of-1 printing plate. I think it's kind of cool that they put the stats in the back of the card on there. You know, they don't typically do those with those printing plates. So I'm kind of digging that they did that on the back of it. That looked nice. And this is David Montgomery. Looks like it's going to be some type of an insert. School colors, and it's Mojo, and that means, of course, numbered to 10. Hopefully you can see it. The number's like right there. Trying to get it at a bunch of angles. Maybe one of them will catch there on the camera. But a school colors David Montgomery out for the M's. And number 10 just makes it that much sweeter. Well, by this time tomorrow night, we'll at least know a handful of our draft picks. Seems like they always go so slowly. I mean, it kind of does because of the amount of time they have on the clock in the first round and all that, but I can't imagine being the kids sitting in the green room, how slowly it would move for them. Terry McLaurin for the M's. If you're like the kid sitting there waiting to have your name called. And I always feel bad for the ones who end up dropping and going much lower than anybody expected. You know, and they've got to sit there and sit there and sit there. Like, oh, that's awful. Jacoby Myers. He kind of has his signature. Looks like it's shot a bit off the top of your sticker there. Jordan Scarlett for the S. I think we've got another A on the horizon here that's sitting on the top of our stack. That is Raquel Armstead for the A. Quadre Allison for the O. We've had a lot of O's, haven't we? I mean, I guess not a lot, quote unquote, of O's, but comparatively speaking, O not having as many choices to come out as some of the other letters. I think the O's have been doing fairly well tonight, all things considered. Taylor Rapp for the R. Did I stack I think I did, yeah. All right, we have 9 down and 3 remaining. All right. Irv Smith Jr. That is numbered to 99. It goes to the S, and it was on a bold ticket. Travis Homer for the H. Nicole Hardman Jr. for the H. Had a lot of H come out tonight too, but I bet if you have H, I bet you're hoping for Haskins in here would be my guess. So we need to try to conjure that up if we can. There's another Raquel Armstead headed to the A. Jacques Patrick for the P. There's Taylor Rapp again for the R. Wonder how nervous those kids are. I mean, even if you know that you're going to go in the first round, and the first rounders probably feel pretty confident that they're going to go in the first round. But still, I bet it's got to be so nerve-wracking waiting to find out your team and basically just changing your whole life in one night. Because, I mean, it's going to completely, or has the potential, I guess, to completely change their life for good with the kind of money these guys make. And they're so young. Can't imagine what that would be like, being in that position. We have James Williams, W. J. Sternberger. That is, of course, for the S, like Sam. I know S and F and some of that sounds similar. A redemption. Ah, the plot thickens. Does anybody have any clue as to who our redemption possibilities are? Does anybody watched enough breaks today yet to have an opinion on those? If you haven't done a break with me before, here's what happens. You see I laid it face down right up there in our little housekeeping area. And that's pretty well what we do with them. And then at the very end of the break, we'll flip over whichever we have and find out who's on the other side of it. And then go to the Panini website. We'll find out what it's going to be numbered to, if anything. That was Jalen Hurd for the H. So yeah, we always save the redemptions until the bitter end, so to speak. Byron Murphy for the M. And a Mojo. Our Mojo is a season ticket numbered to 10 down here in the corner. For one, Troy Aikman headed to the A position. Let's put that down there with those other numbered cards so we can at least keep our recap somewhat consistent. Of course, after we do finish up the last box and look through it, we will do a recap of the signature cards and the numbered cards. We'll also, though, before we do the recap, we've got to find a home for all these cards up there that have two different teams on them. And this is Quadri Allison for the O's. Nelson, you said the redemptions you've seen were the same as Prism with Murray and Baker and Murray and Brown. Okay. All right. Well, we'll find out who's on the other side of that then. We did have out of Prism draft picks, we did get a nice Baker Mayfield redemption out of one of our cases. It was Baker and Lincoln Riley, I believe, was the combination. It was pretty low numbered, that one was. So we'll find out shortly who's on our redemption for tonight. But first things first, we've got the rest of a box to look through. And this is, of course, last box mojo time, which just means we try very hard to pull our big, fiery, volcanic hits out of the last box. We try to kind of collectively work the mojo and hope it brings forth something awesome. A School Colors Trayvon Williams for the W's. And, of course, that is also mojo pattern. It's numbered to 10 right there. Another J. Sternberger coming up for the S. Somebody was trying to jump line there, slid in the opposite way, but it all worked out. Jordan Scarlett for the S. Keelan Doss, D. And coming up here is Hunter Renfrow for the R. There's another Byron Murphy. I feel like that's our second or third Byron Murphy. Maybe it's not, but it feels like it is. That is for the M. A numbered bowl ticket to 99. Pat Mahomes, baby. Red Raiders of Texas Tech. That goes to, of course, the M. All right, so we now need to flip over our redemption. So we'll do that first, then we'll find a home for all of our dual team cards, and then we'll recap. But first things first, let's find out who's on the other side of this. It is Marquise Brown. So of course it's heading to the B bidding position, but we're going to go find out what, if anything, this is numbered to by hopping over to the Panini website. So it is a Game Day Fame ticket. Game Day Fame. All right, that's what we're looking for as far as the card set goes. Except I got us on the wrong tab. Let's try that again. Game Day Fame ticket signatures. All right. And what did I say he was? Card number 2. Marquise Brown is going to be numbered to 5. So, wow, guys, very nice hit there. Came out for the B bidding position right at the end of the break. So, I got that all labeled up. Now we have a little something else to do. And I'm going to put one of each types of these in a sleeve, simply because I'm going to write on the sleeve here in a minute. So this whole big stack here, big stack of cards, all have 2 different players on them. And of course, as you can see on both variations, you know, both this and this, there are players on the left and players on the right. So the easiest way to do this, we're going to go to random and simply type in left side and right side. And because I have fewer than 10 items in the list for random, we will do random just one single time. I'm sorry, 3 times. 10 or more, I do it one single time. I'm losing my grip here. No. Under 10. See, I said the number 10. I shouldn't have done that. All right. We have fewer than 10. We're going to do random one single. No, I did it again. I've got to stop saying 10. We're going to do random 3 times. The first 2 do not count. It is the third and final random that makes the determination as to how these cards are going to be distributed. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? I'm just typing away, not realizing the cursor wasn't in the box, but that's all right, I guess. All right, so once again, ignore the first one, ignore the second one. This third and final that's coming up is for all the marbles. 3 times right there it says, there's our date and time stamp. It comes up as the right side of the card. So I'm just simply going to circle the right side of the card. Not on the card, but on the sleeve, so that when I sort, I'm going to remember. And then we can do a quick flip through these so you'll know what, if anything, is coming your way out of this. So, for instance, this card is going to go to the Josh Jacobs or the J side of the card. This is going to go to Jared Goff and the G side of the card. So I'm not going to read all these off, but we'll flip through them very quickly. Once again, just keeping in mind that you are on the right-hand side of each of these cards. So sometimes people care about looking through these, sometimes they don't. But in all cases, we don't typically have as many as we have tonight. There are a lot of Jeez. So many, so many. But anyway, that's how we're going to roll, right? And on the right is Lincoln Riley on the right-hand side of that. Nelson, how do I think you did? Who did you have in here again? Nelson, you know I'm the worst about remembering who has what team. So if you can, or in this case, what letter, if you can refresh my memory there as to what letters you had, I might be able to remember a little better. I'll try anyway. Right. Man, do you guys want to look through the rest of those? There's so many. I mean, we've already started. I guess I can finish, but I feel like they're mostly going to be duplicates. So, yeah. Okay, right. In this case, the right happens to be on the top. It's depending on how you hit the card in the stack on that particular orientation. But you can obviously tell which is the right, which is the left, because the left has the connection to wording down by it, so it's always the team opposite of that. On the, the farthest away from the word connections, if you will. All right, we still have more to go, but not many more. Is Brown on the right? I don't know. I haven't seen him go through. I haven't been paying attention to the names of who's on each of these cards as we go through particularly. I mean, you can see as we look through here, there's a lot of different combinations, so I don't particularly know the answer to that, Nelson, if Brown's on any of the right side of these or not. But Nick Bosa's on the right side of that one. I mean, but of course you said you don't want your inserts unless they're numbered, right? So I don't. We will look at the numbered stuff again here in a minute when we do the signature recap. I tell you what, I am not going to recap these next time. There's so many of them. We'll just do the right and not worry about it. You had the N and the R. Well, let's take a look and see what all you found for your N and your R, because I really don't even remember what all we did find for N and R. There's so much stuff that we hit tonight. All right, so quick little recap here. Jacques Patrick, Jordan Scarlett, Myers, McLaren. This is numbered to 10. It's Mojo School Colors, David Montgomery, Simmons, Williams. That is Godwin. Homer. It makes it hard to recap these because they're all sideways. It makes it hard to like hold them and show them quickly. That is Hurd, Murphy, Madison, Anderson, Pollard, so Nelson, you want all of your inserts then, or you just, well, why don't I just send you all of your inserts, and that way I just make sure that I know that you've got what you want. That is Thorson for the T. These are both J's, thank goodness, on the dual signature card there. That's Tillery. This is Darren Hall, Mojo to 10. Brown, McSorley, Greer, Wesley, Higdon, Montgomery, Zemenes, starting with an X, Orawari, or something like that, starting with an O. That's Morgan, Oliver. Here's the big kahuna out of this case. This is the big fish out of here. And it's Kyler Murray with a cracked ice to 23 college ticket. That's a nice little hit there. If you've got the M, that's probably exactly what you were hoping for. Mitchell, Abram, Hall, Dixon, Sample, Gaskin, Orawari, Slayton, Love, Wilson, Love, Thornhill, Isabella, Ratliff Williams. Once again, hyphenated names are going to go to the first letter of the last name. So the last name is Ratliff Williams, so it goes to the R's. This is a nice hit as well, to 25, the Daniel Jones bowl ticket headed to the J's. Then we have Dixon, Sample, Brailford, Mullen, Stick, Gentry, Wesley, or was that Gentry or, yeah, Gentry, sorry, Gentry, Wesley, and Butler. We had a redemption in here, and that is Marquise Brown for the Bees, and it's going to be numbered to 5. That's a nice hit for the Bees. Well, we think it is anyway. We'll know more after the draft, but we think it's a nice hit. We'll know more after he gets on the field, too. That was Murphy, Renfro, Doss, Scarlett, Sternberger. This is another School Colors Mojo to 10, and it is Travion Williams for the W's. Ollison, Murphy, Hurd, Sternberger, Williams, Rapp, Armstead, Hardman, Homer, Irv Smith Jr. for the S, Rapp, Ollison, Armstead, McCaffrey on a 1-of-1 printing plate. So there's the back of it, and there's the front of your 1-of-1 Christian McCaffrey printing plate. So those are always cool. And then we have numbered to 99, a bowl ticket for Bradley Chubb, headed to the C's. A Mojo Rodney Anderson, numbered to 10 for the A's. Another bowl ticket to 99, DJ Moore for the M. A season ticket Mojo to 10 for Troy Aikman. And a bowl ticket to 99 for Pat Mahomes and the M's. All right, that is the break for tonight, but I will put up some spreadsheet information here one more time for anybody who might have missed this earlier. We'll give you a little 411 here. The autographed baseballs I am anticipating will be out the door and on the way to you no later than Tuesday. However, most of the time that free shipping stuff actually ends up going out ahead of schedule, but I always just project it out 6 or 7 days after the fact. If you got skunked in the autographed baseball break and you would like your consolation card sent immediately, please let me know and I will be happy to do that. Otherwise, I typically hold on to them and I send them to you the next time you have a package that ships, and that's just because it is a free shipping break, so that's why we do it that way. And our paid shipping break tonight was Contenders Draft Picks. I anticipate having that on the way to you approximately Saturday. As always, if I can get it out to you sooner, I will, and if something unexpected happens, it could possibly slide to Monday, but I'm going to try very hard to have it on the way to you on or before Saturday. So tomorrow night, Leaf Metal Draft Jumbo, half case, 4 boxes, but guess what? There's 40 autograph hits in those 4 boxes, and of those 40 hits, 4 of them are guaranteed to be 1-of-1 slabbed autographs, so pretty cool little product there coming up tomorrow night. Also sold first letter of last name. We will also open a 12-box inner case of Diamond Kings baseball tomorrow night. On Friday, we'll start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and open National Treasures basketball. Woo-hoo, that's a new release for Friday. And then we'll open another case of Contenders Draft Picks on Friday as well. On Saturday, We're going to open a 5-box case of TriStar Game Day Greats autographed football jerseys. Memorabilia case break. And a half case of Gypsy Queen Baseball, which is the back half of the case. On Sunday, once again, we'll start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. We'll open a 20-box case of honors, and that's the last of the H that I have. Or last of the honors that I have. Why did I say the last of the H? Because we've been breaking everything by first letter, last name. Yeah, the last of the honors that I have. And then we'll open a 6-box half case of Bowman Baseball. That is also the back half of a case. On Monday, it'll be triple play baseball box, 3 autographed memorabilia items in that. Another 5-box case of TriStar Game Day Greats autographed football jerseys, and another 4-box case of National Treasures basketball. I meant to list Flawless Football for Monday night. It was supposed to be in there with National Treasures basketball, and I don't know what happened. I had some kind of a brain freeze, something, and I didn't get it listed. So I guess we'll be breaking Flawless Football again, actually on Tuesday instead of Monday, because I forgot to put it up. So there you have it. And that, I guess, is about it for me tonight. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you being here, spending part of your evening with me on this new release Wednesday. I, of course, will be back at it tomorrow night. I hope that I will see you again then, or if not then, sometime soon. Meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your week ahead, and we'll catch you the next time. Bye now.